This Adam Yerushalmi Terumos, and the also holds V'Hadash Daf Memo from Yal. 4 lines at the top. Amar in the Vilna, we're on Daf Chav Beis, Amud Beis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines at the top. Amar. They should be exclusive for a technical basis, so similar to Shibya. You should see quickly Yeshua's for the Chamas. Okay, so but in Kavanaki, the gear says Rabbi Pedaya. Pedaya Amar talking about here. This is a third explanation for the sheet of Rabbi Yeshua. According to Rabbi Elazar, said that it's talking about even where he knew that there are the white figs fell in to the white and black figs, or vice versa. He did not forget. You should only rinse this when you ground the grain, whatever it is. That so since he mixed everything together, you pulverize the figs, and the chiddush is that but here you're allowed to. Again, it says the Rabbi Pedoya Udamar Ein Plila El Yain V'Shemen. Even though normally says that you can't, things don't mix proportionally except for wine and oil. Nevertheless, here that it is in terms of the bittul here, it's enough that it's not nicker which are black and which are white. You don't need to have an equal distribution as long as you know that. As long as you you can't determine which is which, even if they're not equally distributed, that suffices. Okay, so obviously the reason why Ein Ba'al Yisrael doesn't apply here is because you had a sufficient amount to be the rice no matter what. And anyway, the Rabbanan came along and said, our Gzeira of 100 to 1, we are okay, including black and white, as long as you grind them together. Okay, but saying the Rabbanan Pliga, the words of the following rabbis, so Yochanan, Rabbi Shimon, and Lakish, seem to argue. Talmud Nina, we learned over there, V'Hameduma Potem Min Chala. If you have Meduma, right, you have Tuma and Chulin mixed into each other, so it's exempt from Chala. So because of course, whatever the dough comes from the Truma is potter. So be by Gedule, so we'll see exactly what the machlokes is. Kana Shmuel Lo Mistabra Hadei Meduma. So well, it's actually B'Tmiya. What is the Meduma Chala is specific when the majority is Truma, because otherwise the Truma she bata barov in the Chulin. And every Chayim Chalamina Minatera. So I would Rachamim say it's okay. So, the again Kana Shalom Rishuma Lo Mistabra Hadei Meduma Dedin Hacha. It's as if it says here Ella Ki El Ksherubo Truma. But if it's not, if the majority is Chulin, so then it should be Bata the Raisa, and therefore not Chulin Tevel for Chala that it's so that, well, it's actually cool too. That then in that case, it should be Chayv B'Chala. So I'm gonna stop. Okay. So the Shmuel says, I also hold that way. Ella, but Katesok Ar Yisrael. When you go up there, it's Yisrael Achoyla. Go ask them. See what they have to say about them. The word Kad is not the regular Gemara. It's only Kavanaki, but big deal. Katzalik, this one, this is the word Gemara. Katzalik, when he went up, Shama Hadadam Rabasi Shem Yechanan, heard that which Rabasi said, named Rabbi Yechanan. Afilu Slash and Over Tok Tishim and Teshach Slash Cholin. Even one measure of Trua fell into 99 measures of 99 measures of Cholin. The Meduma is part from Chala. Until there are 100 measures of chulin corresponding to the truma is part from challah. The dough is part from challah because it's meduma. So we see that it's meduma even if the robe is chulin, it's not mevatel the truma which fell into it, and it's still potter until it's 100. So the Rabbi Avo said, "Kacha yo meishiv Rabbi Shimon Lakish Rabbi Yochanan." So Rabbi Yochanan said it's not mevatel. Okay, so it's not the chul is not mevatel truma, and it's potter mechala. So so he said, "Vos sahi apoter sakol." This sa'ah, which is exempt from challah because it's truma, which is mixed into 99 measures of chulim, which are chayav challah, exempts all of them. The Amalei said v'chi igul. Well, before we get that, the Rash in Challah says, how is it possible that this one saw, which is exempt from Challah, as mixed into 99 chulim, which are chayav challah, exempts all of them? He says that this is when he made for them small doughs, each one of 5 minimum shear, 5 revoim of kemach, which is chayav challah. That is a case where the chelik of truma patters, because it diminishes the shear of each and every one of them. So then, in that case, okay, we understand that it could be the saw of truma, because each thing made of it precisely of the shear, but it has a little bit of truma in it, which diminishes the shear. So okay, then and patter. So Amarle. So he says that our Mishnah says our Mishnah's case of the eagle shavela, one of truma, which falls among other igulim. Davar bari hu truma also biyado. When you take up the one measure you get, you're going to say that we know for sure that he got truma when he lifted up that measure. Obviously not. We can't know for sure, especially if they're different sizes, different colors. So then, some of them certainly should not be included in measuring the shear. So how does it work? So it must be Batamarata Kalhu. Maybe you're going to say it's a kula we have, but Truma is manazeh in this Truma de Rabbanan, right? So Alfachanami here too, Kalhu. It's a kula we have by Chala. They don't think Chala as long as it's Meduma. It's different halach, obviously, but since Truma de Rabbanan says the Rabbanan, and so the Chala is also with the Rabbanim is manazeh. So therefore, we're maker by both of them. You don't take off the truma or the cha. You can assume that the one he took off is the truma, and the rest are mutter, even though no, some of them not in the truma. As a kul in Rabbanim, and here too, you assume that the one you take, you assume that the challah, the 1/99th of challah, or that's not you assume. The one of 100th of challah of truma in the meduma makes the entire thing meduma, and therefore you put it from challah, even if you make one large dough out of it. Not if you make little dough, you certainly make little doughs. You make one large dough. In any way, this is an argument about poto or Rabbi Poto, whichever you want to say, because whether you hold Rabbi Yochanan, whether Shimon Lakish, it doesn't matter. Both of them have a hold that the issue we're not about we ground up the eagle, because if they required it, the grinding up the eagle, so they should mention that you ground it up. And of course, that would eliminate the issue of one of the chiddush of being even one is small, one is large, or fewer small, fewer large. That it still makes up the 100. You're grinding it, so must see they don't hold. You have to grind it, and we're making even without grinding it, and not like Rabbi Budaya. So the getting back to this actual sugya, Reish Lakish remained silent. So when it says Yasibne, he could have answered. Reish Lakish could have answered Rabbi Yochanan, or actually he could have. That's a question on a question. So rejected him by questioning his premise. He's saying that Shana Igul Bigulin Shakavar Balku, where you have the Igulei Vela, which fell into one of Truma, fell into other Igulin, and Truma, which fell into 99 measures of Chulin. There's a difference. The eagle is the Raisa already bought though, because there are enough of the small ones in order to mevatel it. So we have the entire, which is Mako, and therefore the entire is Mutter, therefore we can Mako further. But by the Ptur of Chala, you are now being Mako in the Din Torah, because on the contrary, here the Bita Barov, the Raisa would cause a Chumrah, right? Because here the Bita Barov would make you Chayav in Chala, because the Cholin is about the Truma. So therefore, here, you should say that here, how can you make it the same way? Again, by Truma, the Bittul Barov, the Raisa is in your favor, in our case. So therefore, okay, they're a Meko. But there, the Bittul Barov is the Chumrah and not in your favor. It should be Chayiv in Chala. So there, I can compare the two cases. So the Gemara does not resolve this question. So it must be that Rabbi Yochanan holds, since he didn't respond to this, that even in such a situation, we're making challah b'zman hazeh. Rabbi Yoina, Tarveim b'shem Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Yoina Rabbi Yossi. Tarveim b'shem Rabbi Zira. They both say the name of Rabbi Zira. They said this to in respect to Bar Pedoya, the Rabbi Pedoya. Afilu chitin b'chitin toichin u'matir. Even if it's wheat and wheat, so it's okay. In other words, he does hold like Rabbi Pedoya, but if you have one side of truma which fell into 99 sim of chitim of chulin, and they got mixed together, when you grind them, so evidently the chulin normally become more proportionally. I don't know why. They'll become 100 corresponding to the truma. This is even though it's the other way around. I'm not sure. I'm just hear the Kavanaki, but I don't think. Yeah. Okay. No, it is this way around. In other words, the Rabbi Pedoya is more makel than you think. You're saying that Rabbi Zira is saying Rabbi Pedoya is more makel than you think. He's saying not only can it be when you have 100 to 1, can you actually grind and it's okay about this chatchila, but even if it's chitin, and chitin the derech is to be marbe when you grind it. Okay, I don't know why. I guess because of air spaces. So therefore, even if before you grind, you had 99 to 1, which is not enough to mevatel the truma. If after you grind it, you're going to have 100 to 1 because of the expanded volume. So then you're allowed to grind it l'chatchila and be mevatel the truma. How you about this l'chatchila? But since the raisa it's already batel, it's a big chumah d'rabbanan, grind 100 to 1. So therefore they were makel. It said, you can be you have to grind it up so you have the right proportion, 100 to 1 through the grinding. But then you can say that it's batel and the whole thing is considered to be chulin. Now, before the next Gemara, the Kabanaki puts in the word Itmar. I don't think Itmar is actually find in the Yerushalmi. Not sure why he put it in. He maybe had something that had a Gersa like that, and then he did. But it's strange. I don't think anybody else changed the Gersa here. Again, he had Kisvayad, which he might have gotten it from, but normally you don't find the word Itmar in the Yerushalmi. But Itmar was stated. He had 20 figs of chulin or tevel, and one of truma fell into them, and one of them fell out. So Rabbi Shimon is feikum bata barov. He says there's a suffix meduma because maybe the one which fell out was the truma. In this case, chachamim now require 100 corresponding to truma. It's enough to have simple bita barov. Yochanan Amar, it says kula nasu hochiach. No, each of them requires it's a chocha that that it is the one which is not truma. So that's no good. In other words, you need, so if you need to prove that each one is not shel truma, then the fact one fell away doesn't help the other 19. So we're not making just because of suffix dimur by itself. However, Mother Rabbi Yochanan Torah Mehem, the Hamakam Acher, if you use them to make truma on another place, in other words, one you think you lose one, but you lose one, instead of the 20, 19, and 1. But you used to make truma on another place, such as when the 20 were tevel. This is before, obviously, nothing got mixed up. So the case is 20, then 19 plus 1 fell in, and which is already truma. Rabbi Yochanan was not makel. But here's a case where you had 20, and you designated one of them to be truma makam acher. That the other ones, and then one fell out, and so then in that case, Rabbi Yochanan concedes that the other ones are not considered to be meduma, because I say that the one of truma is one which fell, and it's mitzaref to the other ones from elsewhere used for truma. The way the Kavanaki puts it very nicely, he says, like the Tosefta says, and the first 6 paragraphs brought down in Yevamos Pei Beis Amar, it's like a toilet. I say the truma toch truma nafla. So I say here that, okay, let's give the case more accurately. You have a case where you have 100 bushels, and you need to make 1 bushel of truma. So you take half a bushel from that 100 and half a bushel from this 20. Thing is, you don't know which one of the half bushels in the 20 was. Got lost afterwards. So now half a bushel fell out. So I say, just like I'm toilet in the case of 2 pots, etc., etc. So in this case also I'm toilet, I say the half bushel that fell out is the truma, but toilet that and it's mitzaref to the best of the truma, which was in the other batch. Okay, so that's, he says, or you add it on from somewhere else on them. In other words, you lost one, and then you got another 21 of chulin. So Rabbi Yochanan says in this case, it's bata barov. Those 20 was suffix truma suffix chulin are bata now in the row of chulin. Right, it's like a sveka, right? Despite the fact it's not 100, as long as now you have a new majority. So since you have a new majority, so therefore it's a two sveka. Suffix maybe the one which is truma fell out. Even if it fall out, you have a bit of barov. It's not quite a sveka. It's like a sveka. So therefore, in this case, Rabbi Yochanan says, in that case, we can make them. Okay, that is, I believe, the end of the end of Memav of the base, exactly, and we'll stop here for today.